Hello my friends, welcome back to my channel. Furtado here, the Rebel Turner. Today I'm gonna do another version of the Genie bottom. This time hopefully in one piece, and this time oriented the long way of the tree, not sideways. No holes on this one. So this one is going to be basically just a shape and hollowing it out. Let's get started. What I got on the lathe is a piece of cherry. Now this cherry has a lot of checking going through it, so I will see how much of that I can get away with and how much I'm going to have to fill up with sawdust and some CA. This will be the base of the bottle because it's fairly round all the way around. I don't have the dip that I got going in this area. So if I made this the bottom, this was going to be fairly deep both here and here. So this will allow me to make the bottle, the base of the bottle, a little bit bigger than normally what it would do. Tightening it up and getting it embedded in pretty well into the spur drive. Now, let's see what kind of a view I can give you on this. For the shaping, let's start with the bottom, make a tenon and reverse it, and then finish up all the other stuff from the opposite end. Easy does it. I'm going to use my roughing gouge. Now before I take off all this bark, which I probably will end up doing, but I wanted to see what does it do for the piece. And that's not a bad look either, but on this case, I do want to get rid of it. But if it maintains a little circle here, I don't think it will maintain anything here, but that will be okay. But I don't want this much where the bottle, the shape looks flat over here, and that's what it's giving me right now. So Gonna keep it going. Okay, the camera is gone cockeye with autofocus. Well, it's time to go in there and start working on the inside of this. Right now, I'm right at the bottom of the belly on the piece. I gotta go a little bit deeper than this. So I'm gonna go one more time with the drill bit, get as much as I can while I can fit it in there, and the rest I'll be relying on my longest tools that I got to go in there. Slow it down all the time. And always keeping it in that orientation. Never turn the tool this way. You're going to get a nasty catch. The tool could go flying out of your hand. I mean, everything can go haywire over here. This is definitely not the time to go aggressive with the tool. my tool was just a little bit deeper than that and heavier duty, because that's as far as I can go. And you know something? It's flared out on the inside. At least from this point on. Not to the edge, but I got a good flare out on this whole piece. So I'm happy with that. I'm not going to keep pressing my luck. You know what they say, you got something good, leave it alone before you mess it up. Just gonna clean up any tool marks I got on the front edge over here. Super speed. A little bit of scraping, finish the outside. Go reverse. Make sure that these fibers that are flapped over that way from the sanding, I get a chance to cut them backwards. They'll stand up with a friction and be sanded on. It just gives you that nice final sanding. By the way, this was sanded with 120 grit and super fine steel wool that has been used many times. I'm not saying go out and sand it just with these grits. Go through the steps if you're really looking for a super gloss. But you know, I think that this wood, at least this cherry, has been pretty good, giving me some awesome results with some very minimal minimal sanding. But also, it means that your cuts have to be pretty good. If your cuts are a little rough and you got tool marks, then go through 80 grit a little bit heavier and take off any tool marks that you got and work it up slowly until you get to the point that you want to be. Now this is a wooden stick. It's a hardwood, happens to be maple, and I cut a notch in the front of it. And the way I use this is I take a piece of sandpaper and I wedge it in there pretty tight. It's a tight fit for sandpaper that's folded up 4 ways, but it does go in. And what you want it to do is go in but not pop out on you anyway. So I wedge it in like that. It doesn't have to go all the way down. And this will allow me to go in deep for the interior sanding. So just go in there like anything else and work it back and forth. You can turn it both ways. I love this funky stuff that's doing this. That's what it's all about, is when you get pieces of wood that give you things like this. A genie bottle with a little bit of bark inclusion. The last one I did had a huge void in it due to the fact that worms had gotten to it, and it was the pit from the tree because it was turned on a side orientation. And I always have a couple of these made up. I keep them around the shop. There's nothing special about them. The wood, it doesn't matter what it is, even if you use pine. And as long as it fits good on the neck of your piece. See, I got a bigger one, and that would still work, believe it or not. But don't need that big one over here. But they can all fit into the same chuck. It's a matter of that big one actually has multiple size tenons on it, both front and back. I got for the 50 millimeter on the back and the 100 millimeter, and in the front I also have another tenon in case I ever want to flip it over and use a flat part of it for something else. Never know. With that, because it's wood on wood, it's a good idea. I don't do it all the time, but it's a good idea if you take a piece of paper towel and protect the neck of your piece that you're going to be cutting up. You got it, use it. Now, what would happen if I didn't do that is probably get a shine spot or something like that on it. It wouldn't be the end of the world, but since it's easy enough to address and not have it, then I assume in this case not to have it. But I got a little bit of prep work on this bottom. I really did not do anything to it, so at this point I'm going to overcut this a little bit and shave it and do a nice clean up over here, resand it, and finish up this bottom. here, if you rub it enough, you might not get the shine, but you might get a genie out of it. And I keep trying. Well, here it is. Another genie bottle without a genie. It's a piece of cherry. A cherry that's had all this funky loose stuff that I could literally pick out. But it adds a nice touch on the neck of this. The finish is not that bad. I could have spent a lot more time going with some extra grits on this and getting rid of a little bit of the sandpaper marks that I got in here and on the cross grain or the end grain parts of it. It could have used a little bit of help, but to me, this is the way it is, and that's how it's going to maintain. Top, bottom. It just so happens this is not part of the tool post or the live Santa, but it just so happens it has a little bit of a nick right in the center of the piece. Go figure. Thanks for watching. We'll see you very soon.